Well, guess what? It's August 1st. It's August 2nd while you're watching this, but it's August 1st when I'm recording this. Today is day one of the journey to vlog every day in the month of August. What I really hope to do, honestly, is use this next, I don't really know how many days are in August, so I'm not going to say and embarrass myself. Or maybe it's just embarrassing that I don't know how many days are in August off the top of my head. Anyways, what my goal is during this next however many days are in August, is to record a video every day. My goal is actually to do this consistently, maybe not, forever, every single day, but to record content like this more often. I think this is what is lacking in some of the theological community. We are good at providing solid doctrine via podcast and videos and articles and things like that. But a lot of times, and it's kind of what I spoke about yesterday, a lot of times what happens is people see all of this stuff going on and they think it's unattainable, and they don't know really how to relate to some of these people. And so some of the goals that I hope to accomplish with doing videos like this is to make it more accessible, to see what goes into producing the content and studies and things like that. I want people to see that, listen, you guys can do the same thing, and we should be doing the same thing. We should all be pursuing Christ with everything that we have. And so that's kind of the goal as we move forward. And like I said, hopefully this kind of springboards and I can do this more often. If this is your first time watching a video by me, hey, thank you. Check us out on Tuesday nights sometimes. That's our live show. We meet every Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Facebook Live and YouTube Live. We would love for you to join us. Make sure you click that subscribe button below the video. Click the bell so you receive notifications. But today, kind of a big day today. I actually have a Skype call that I'm about to jump on here in a moment with a guy that I've become friends with from Norway. He is somebody that reached out to the Facebook page, and he and I became friends. We talk all the time, and we pray for each other. And he sent me a message yesterday. He said, would it be possible to talk on Skype sometime? I need some guidance when talking to Mormons. He is trying to evangelize people that are Mormons, and he needs some help. And he's studying, he says, he's learning from James White, Jeff Durbin. But it would be nice to have a brother to talk to about these things and pray. And they're coming from a church to continue the dialogue that they've had already, it looks like. And he even says here at the end, so amazing opportunities to preach the gospel of Christ. So this brother is in Norway. He's faithfully serving. If you would think to pray about what he's doing, this guy messages me all the time, like, hey, watch this sermon, listen to this sermon. It's really cool. It's a nice reminder to me to when I am sort of struggling to remain disciplined and to use my time wisely and to redeem the time, like we talked about the other night on the podcast. He always is sending me sermons to watch, and he's a faithful brother. So that's the first thing I have on the agenda today, is to have that conference with him. And then this afternoon, I actually have to do some contract work, designing some contracts and some templates for my business. I'm getting clients, and with that, there's a lot of paperwork and stuff like that. So I actually have to work on that. And then I just realized that I don't have any groceries, and I'm gonna have to go to the grocery store at some point today. I have to make a list for that, and then I have to get my readings done for the day. So yeah, I'll bring you guys along on the journey, but first part of the day, we're going to have this conference call with my brother in Norway. And so yeah, let's go, let's switch over to that.
Talk about today was, I've been fortunate enough to meet with these Mormons to witness them about Christ, right? So first I met the Mormon dude in my city, in Bergen. For 2.5 hours we talked. But he kept interrupting me, so it wasn't a good conversation.
I understand.
But then I got 2 elders to come to me, to my home. And I wanted the pearl of great price, because I want to dig into the material so I can refute it with the Bible, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna give it to you, man, digitally, and then you can get a copy later, hard copy. So I got to talk to them about, for example, the articles of faith. I brought up so many questions. For example, the article of faith that we believe that through the atonement of Christ.
Okay, so I just had there we go. I just had the best conversation with my friend from Norway. Like, we talked for like an hour and 10 minutes almost, and I am just like, I am ready to take on the day. You want to talk about, man, just the encouragement that this guy, I'm just so, like, I have so many people that I talk with through the internet, and I'm just so grateful for all the relationships that I have. But man, this guy specifically, I am just, man, we had a really good conversation. It's really, the gospel is just so much bigger than what we can imagine. And so I am ready to take on the day. So I'm not like ecstatic that this is all happening today, but like, it's not, it's kind of good that this is happening today, because this is part of why I wanted to do this daily video, was to be able to talk about stuff like this. So for those of you that don't know, and I'm sure most of you do, but those of you that don't know, I lost my job about 3 months ago. And since then, my wife and I have prayed, and what we've thought the Lord is leading us to do is for me to do, well, there's been a couple of stages. Let's kind of take it by that. A couple of stages. So the first thing that we thought that I was supposed to do was to dedicate a full-time schedule to ministry, to leading dead men, to producing content for Theology Nights, and running both of those ministries. I'm also a pastor, and so I will dedicate time to that, of course, too. And I'm a full-time student, and so we thought that that's what the Lord wants us to do, is have me focus in on those things and bring in an income, of course, somehow, without going back to a traditional Monday through Friday type job. And so throughout this process, that's kind of how we thought that starting the company was a good idea, a way to bring in money without having to fundraise for through the ministries, without having to take a pay, or without having to exhaust resources, depending on those things, depending on money that comes in through those avenues. That's what I mean. And then I could have an income that would support us, and it would free me up to work from home and provide for my family and do ministry and all of those things. So today was one of those days where I just don't know if that's the easiest way to describe it. My wife and I were at lunch, and we were just talking about some stuff that's going on right now in life. And I've tried to remain open throughout all of this time. It's been almost 3 months now. And during this time, I've been, in my own prayers and in my own study time. I'm trying to be dependent upon what the Lord is leading me to do. And all along, it just feels continuously like He's wanting me to do exactly what I'm talking about: lead these ministries, start this business, provide for my family that way. But then I have days like today where I doubt that. I doubt if that actually going to work. It's crazy. Like, if I felt called to just go back to work full time and work Monday through Friday, and that would be it. Like, it would just be so easy. I could just go get a job and I would be able to start working and provide an income and we wouldn't, like, it wouldn't be hard, if that makes sense. Like, it's hard having to do this. I have for many days now, I have been really just battling internally with the reality of what the Lord has called me to do. And it's tough to remain steadfast to that, because I want to be able to provide an income. I have to bring money in. Just the reality of life. You need money. I have to bring money in. So I have to balance my time between being a good steward of my ministries, having time for school, and then also having time to invest in this new business that I just started. We have clients that are starting to come in, and so I'm going to be able to get that up and running soon. That will certainly be a big help. But I have to dedicate time to that stuff, and then but that's going to be the way that I make money. So do I dedicate more time to that? But then I also want to be a pastor. So how do I balance a schedule between being a pastor and running ministries and running a business? And then I also do like Uber and Lyft and things like that to bring in money. So like, how do I schedule that stuff? Because technically, like right now, like that's like the only way that I'm making money right now is when I go out and I drive. I have a couple apps that I drive for, and that's like technically my only way that I'm making money. I also have applied for another job that I really hope I get. It's a work from home remote job. It's a part-time job, but it would bring in a steady, consistent income. So I'm waiting on that, and I just feel like all of these days that keep going by, it's just like every day is just waiting and waiting and waiting. And it's tough. It's tough to, again, like, I wish, like, I don't wish. Let me rephrase that. Again, if I felt called to just go back to work, like if I just felt like I was supposed to go get a full-time job Monday through Friday and do that would be so much easier. But that's not what I feel like the Lord wants me to do. Like, in fact, I think it's the opposite. But again, it's tough to, like, trust that the Lord will provide. I know He will. He has. He always will. But making that, holding on to that, you know what I mean? Like holding on to that as a reality is tough. Living out what I'm preaching and teaching is tough. It's not easy. It really isn't. It's not. So like, listen, like, whatever you're going through, like I've probably gone through it. I've probably gone through it. I have not been a Christian that long compared to many people. But whatever you're going through, if you are in fact going through a similar season, just listen. I mean, there's a community of brothers and sisters that are sharing and experiencing similar struggles. And part of why I do stuff like this is to show you that I am not immune to stuff like this either.